Hello, this is kind of a summary vid because I'm bringing together three distinct different subjects, but based on a common ground of social democracy and bringing civilization forward. Now, I've done several vids on Boer independence, and in the vid on China and Europe in Africa. I talked about the Boers as being based on the Boer Independent Republic being based on the European social market model, which is where you produce to the point of maximum social benefit, which is an economics term, and at this point you're producing a point of production which does not produce any negative social or economic or pollution factors. Now, because of this, society works much better, but of course that point is always moving around because it's affected by the same kind of supply and demand as any other form of economics. So you have to be adaptive. But the basis of Boer independence would be that you would have good universities in a independent Boer republic, which would have good research and development. It would have good technological investment, capital investment coming from Europe and America. And the Boers are renowned in Africa and throughout the world, the Afrikaners in general, of the Cape Coast as well, as being very good soldiers, and they're well represented within the British Army, the American Army, the armies of the European Union, and in private security. They're also renowned as farmers, and as I said in part one of this, which focused more on Boer independence than the Jewish social democratic state I proposed for the Horn of Africa. The Boers would be able to produce an agricultural surplus which they could sell to different parts of Africa. Now let's focus more on the reasons, strategic reasons, and also how a Jewish social democratic state in the Horn of Africa would work. But first, let's talk about the religious and cultural and historical reasons. Well, the kingdom of Axiom and Kush were Jewish kingdoms, or mixed cultural kingdoms that were around at the time of the Romans, and of course because of were mentioned in the Bible. Now, I personally am agnostic, but if the right-wing Zionist movement, which started Israel as cultural claim to an area, but they're denying that to left of centre Jewish people who are humanists or social democrats, then surely what would help Israel would be to try and make it a normal country. But if that is not possible, then it will essentially be not only just a Jewish cultural state, but specifically a Jewish racial state, and that's quite different from what Israel was intending to be. But if there was a place in the Horn of Africa with a suitably strong historical and religious link to the Jewish people as a homeland, when the Ethiopians have a lot of land which they can't actually use because it's infertile and they haven't got the technology at the moment to farm it well, then surely there would be a place for, say, US-based Jewish humanists who are also social democrats who might support the United States Democratic Party, that they could go to the Horn of Africa and buy land or by some means create a state there, which of course would be bolstered by the fact that many Ethiopians are converting to Judaism. Now, let's bring together the other part of this. The European Union is effectively setting economic terms to the Israelis and to the Arabs, which might include Egypt, Jordan, the Palestinian states, because of course Hamas at the moment controls one part of the Palestinian state, and the other one is controlled by the PLO under Abu Mazen. Now, obviously, Iraq is within the within the United States sphere and also Iran's sphere of influence, but Africa and Saudi Arabia are under the influence of the Saudi family and the Bin Laden family, and they're going to cause extreme problems for the European Union. Particularly, the European Union has got plenty of soldiers in Chad, and they've been very effective at stopping the Sudanese from invading Chad. They haven't got a remit over Darfur yet. That's something the European Union would like to do, I should think, since they put such a massive military presence in Chad. And the European Union is trying to create a Mediterranean Union, so there'll be a mirror image of stability and economic prosperity. So you'd have a Middle Eastern Union and a Mediterranean Union, and in Africa, an African Union, which is basically around the equatorial region of Africa, because they've not been very effective. But Jewish religious ideas are, of course, much more to do with Middle Eastern mysticism. But of course, Jews who have been brought up in the European traditions of the Enlightenment have took a much more humanistic view on their religion, and so perhaps they would not feel as well represented within Israel as it is at the moment, and perhaps they're feeling denied because they can't emigrate there. But if such a state on the Horn of Africa did exist, then there would obviously be security benefits there, because whereas China is a rational actor and could be a partner in Africa with the European Union and the United States, Al-Qaeda is all to do with blood feuds between the Bin Laden family and other powerful families in the world, which won't be fixed. And so there is an irrational character to Al-Qaeda at its highest level, whereas perhaps there is some room to negotiate with people like the Mujahideen in Afghanistan, who can be bought because they're just looking for work and other things such as that. But more and more you're seeing a presence in Somalia and of Al-Qaeda, and such a Jewish state which would be social democratic, which would be a democracy, which would be working within a customs union with Ethiopia. So there would be a good trade-off between the Ethiopians and the this new Jewish state. Would help the West a lot, and of course you would then have an export of food between South Africa and between the Boer republics and this Jewish state, and also the backing of South Africa Boer security forces, which would also help it. Thanks for watching. Peace, hopefully.